UFC on ESPN 41. This is the main event. We have Marlon Vera, Chito versus Dominique Cruz, the legend himself. The first fighter is Marlon Vera. He's 19-7, 7 wins by knockout, 8 wins by submission, 4 decision wins, 0 knockout losses, 0 submission. So he's hard to finish, he's durable, he's tough as nails, and 7 losses by decision. And that's the thing, we're kind of seeing a resurgence of Marlon Vera, because at first, years ago, let's go back to year 2018, see, he'll win 3 fights, but then again he'll lose 2, but then he'll win 5 more and then lose. So now he's kind of on a win streak now. He's won 3 fights in a row. His last fight came against Rob Font. He embarrassed Rob Font. He didn't finish him, but he was able to win a decisive 5-round decision over Rob Font. He was able to land at the elbows, mix it up. He actually even hurt Rob Font a couple times. It looked like he was close to actually getting the finish. We never see fighters come close to knocking out Rob Font, but it just shows you how dangerous Marlon is and how much he improved his striking since around 2018. His fight before that was against another legend, Frankie Edgar. The first round against Frankie Edgar, Frankie was able to take him down and control him. The second round, that's when Marlon was able to keep the fight standing and land punches from the outside and land the knees. He was able to drop him with the knee to the body. And then in the third round, that's when he landed legendary front kick and was able to finish Frankie. Frankie was like a minute away from more than likely winning a decision, but you know, he got finished in the third round, and that was impressive. For him to finish Frankie Edgar, I know Frankie's not where he used to be years ago, but it's not easy finishing Frankie. And then the fight before that, he was able to avenge one of his losses against Davy Grant. And that fight, he was able to mix in the kicks with the striking, and he was able to frustrate Davy Grant and outstrike him. And the thing is, Davy's technical, but he can be wild at times. He's known for throwing wild punches, even though he's very dangerous and very powerful. The fact that Davy Grant and the Marlon Vera fight went 3 rounds is surprising. You know, in hindsight, it's like they actually went 6 rounds, and they're both dangerous and powerful. So it's kind of a shock how they're able to go 6 rounds like that with each other. For Davy Grant, he fought against Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo, he's one of the greatest of all time. He's known for his kicks, his boxing, his Muay Thai. Jose was able to make it a technical fight, and he was able to land more kicks. He landed more kicks and outstruck Marlon Vera. And then even in the third round, he was able to take Marlon's back, and it looked like he was close to getting the rear naked choke. But Jose, the veteran, he was able to outpoint Marlon and make it a technical striking match. Before the Jose fight, Marlon Vera fought against Sean O'Malley, dangerous Sean O'Malley, and it looked like Sean broke his ankle early into the first round. He kept on stumbling back and forth. It looked like he couldn't stand on his 2 feet. The last time he tripped and fell, Marlon Vera was able to pounce on top of him and get the finish. It looked like Sean O'Malley wasn't out cold, but it was an embarrassing loss. And I know this is the Dominique Cruz and Marlon breakdown, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sean O'Malley and Marlon Vera, if they fight again, especially if they both keep winning. Before that, he fought against Yadong Song, and Yadong, he's one of the guys in the bantamweight division nobody's talking about, but he's very dangerous, and he's a bad matchup for like a lot of guys in top 10. His opponent is the guy we all know is Dominique Cruz. Dominique Cruz is 24-3. He had 7 wins by knockout, 1 win by submission, 16 wins by decision. He has 1 knockout loss, and he has 1 loss by submission, and he has 1 loss by decision. Dominique Cruz, he's known for his almost like Muhammad Ali type of movement. Like, we've never seen nobody ever move like the way Dominique Cruz moves. He's a little older now, he's 36, and he's not as agile as he once was. And then on top of that, he's also known for the knee injuries and knee surgeries he's had. He's put out of several fights because of knee injuries. So the fact that Dominique Cruz is able to fight right now shows how much of a warrior spirit he has and how much heart he has. I have nothing but the uttermost respect for Dominique Cruz. I hate seeing fighters get injured, but the fact that he's able to come back and still fight to this day when he's had multiple knee surgeries. So the fact that he's able to fight to this day is a blessing for us. His last fight was against Pedro Munoz. He had to overcome some adversity, which we know that he's capable of doing that. He's been doing that his whole career, especially with the injuries and shaking back from that, recovering from that, and being able to have fights after that. But he got hurt against Pedro, and he was able to recover and stick to a game plan and win the second round and the third round against Pedro and win a decision. It was kind of scary because Dominique Cruz, when he fought against Henry, he got finished from strikes, and that was the first time he ever been TKO'd, which a lot of people think it was an early stoppage against Henry, but he still got finished against Henry from strikes. So when he got hurt against Pedro, it almost looked like the end was near. It was almost like deja vu, but he was able to survive, actually come back and beat Pedro. The fight before that was against Casey Kenny. Not a lot of anything happened that fight. They both were on the outside trying to land their punches from the distance, and they both had moments here and there. It looked like Casey won the third round. He was able to outstrike Dominique Cruz in the third round, but it looked like the first round was close with significant strikes. I believe they both landed 25, and then the second round, the significant strikes were similar too. So it looked like the first round, you can argue either fighter won, and the second round, you can argue either fighter won because the significant strikes landed were similar. But those type of rounds, you have to give to Dominique Cruz because his fighting style, because he's not going out there to land a knockout punch. He's going out there to move around, to frustrate his opponent, and to not get hit. But he was able to win against Casey. It was a real close fight. It was a real close one. But people were glad to see Dominique Cruz back in the octagon. Before that fight, he fought Henry Cejudo, the double champion, double C. It looked like Dominique Cruz won the first round. It looked like he was on his way to winning a decision. But then in the second round, he got hurt. He got knocked down. He wasn't able to recover. But it looked like he was out of it for a second. But then when he recovered, that's when the referee stopped the fight. So that was kind of odd. If you're going to stop it, stop the fight when Dominique Cruz is out of it. Don't stop it after he recovered. So that was kind of odd, the way they stopped it and the fashion they stopped it. It was weird because Dominique Cruz said before the fight, he told the referee that he's tough, give him more opportunities to recover if he ever got hurt. And the referee really didn't do that. But I mean, it's a tough job being a referee, you know, from his vantage point, a little different. To me, I think it was a good stoppage. I don't like seeing Dominique Cruz get hurt. He's a legend. I don't like seeing fighters getting hurt and taking a lot of damage. Before that fight, he fought Cody and he lost his belt to Cody Garbrandt. Cody put on a striking display against Dominique Cruz. Because Dominique Cruz, he won the belt from TJ Dillashaw. He won his belt back. That was a real close one too, but he was able to beat TJ Dillashaw, and then he was able to beat Uriah Faber. But he lost his belt to Cody Garbrandt. He actually had a game plan that fight against Dominique Cruz, which I don't like when Cody puts his hands down. It kind of scares me when he does that, but Cody was able to get the job done. He dropped Cruz several times that fight. It looked like Cruz was close to getting finished, but he was able to show heart and overcome adversity like he's done several times throughout his whole career. Cruz versus Marlon. This fight is important because a lot of people are saying the bantamweight division is the most competitive division right now, or at least the top 2 or top 3 most toughest divisions in the UFC right now. I'm gonna have a look at the rankings. Obviously, number 1 is the champ, Aljamain Sterling, but Dominique Cruz right now, he's ranked number 8, and Marlon is ranked number 5. So if Marlon can win this fight, I think he can get a title shot with this fight. If he can finish Dominique Cruz, I think Marlon gets a title shot. If Cruz can win this fight, he's probably going to end up fighting somebody in the top 3, like Jose Aldo or somebody, and then he might get a title shot after that. But my prediction for this fight, Marlon has been on a tear. But if you're going to look at his record, let's look at his record, right? Marlon does this. Like, his UFC career is full of ups and downs. He wins 2 or 3 fights in a row, and then he'll lose 1 or 2, and then he'll win 2 or 3, and then he'll lose 1 or 2. Right here, he won 5 in a row, then he lost to Yadon Song. A lot of people don't give him the benefit of the doubt versus Sean O'Malley. A lot of people think that if Sean does not get injured, Sean beats Marlon. It's hard to say because Marlon's hard to knock out. He's hard to finish. But that's the thing with Marlon. He wins 3 or 4 in a row, and then he loses 1. And then he wins 3 or 4, then he'll fight somebody in the top 5 or top 6, and then he'll lose. It's almost like there's a certain point that Marlon Vera just can't get over. It's like a certain level that he can't get to, in my opinion. But then again, we're seeing a little bit of a resurgence by Marlon. He is better everywhere. He's better on the ground. His wrestling is better. His striking is better. He's putting everything together now. So who's to say that maybe he's past that and maybe he's ready for the top 5? But honestly, I hate to say this. I hate to bet against Dominique Cruz, but for him to barely win his fight against Casey Kenny, which a lot of people thought he lost, and then on top of that, he got hurt against Pedro Munoz, and he was able to come back. It looked like Dominique Cruz get closer and closer to getting finished in all his fights. And I wouldn't be surprised if Marlon Vera actually gets to finish. Do I think he's going to do it? I don't think so, because Marlon couldn't even finish Rob Font. But then Rob Font is real tough and he's real durable and he's hard to knock out. But my prediction for this fight is I'm going to go with Marlon by a 5-round decision. Dominique Cruz, it's his age. It's the fact that he had multiple knee injuries, multiple knee surgeries. If we're talking about Dominique Cruz from 6 years ago, it's not even close. And obviously, if we're talking about Cruz from 6 years ago, we're talking about Marlon from 6 years ago too. And obviously, that's not even worth talking about. But this is older, not as mobile, not as athletic Dominique Cruz, who takes more damage than he has early on in his career. But I don't think Marlon's going to finish him. I can see Marlon winning the 5-round decision. And that's my prediction, Marlon by decision.